Welcome to the Everything Podcast. This episode, I'm going to be recapping Abbott Elementary Season 4. And in this episode, that's what I'm going to be discussing. I'm recording this episode on the 16th of April 2026, which is a Thursday, surprisingly, which seems to be my podcast recording day at the moment. I don't know why. It won't be next week because I'm in work all day, but it's today. But yeah, it's I've recapped the first 3 seasons of Abbott Elementary in season recaps, and I've done a few other episodes as well. So go check those out if you haven't already. But in this episode, obviously, I'll be recapping Abbott Elementary season 4. So before I spoil the events of Abbott Elementary season 4, here's the trailer.
We want books. We want paper towels in the class. I bet y'all want raises too. I like money. Still waiting on the paper towels.
Check it out.
I have been waiting for this moment. Yeah. You want to dance, pretty boy?
Down now.
And I mean that as a compliment. Your skin is fantastic.
Look at y'all. Check it. Look at me. Check it. Look at y'all.
HR is here today, so if anyone has something they want to file, raise your hand. Not about me.
We go on and on and on and on and on and.
We asked the district for more after-school programs. They gave us $50 for class pets instead. I didn't know. Stop! He's a biter.
We are gonna get along swimmingly.
One of my students has ringworm.
Ringworm, you get back. Block this floor by any means necessary.
I love you like a son, Jacob, but I will beat you down.
Attention, kids. If you want to do crime, now's the time.
Cancel classes, burn Abbott down.
We all have our quirks.
Yeah, he's such a vibrant thing.
Why am I so far away? Why are you so close?
That was the trailer for Abbott Elementary season 4. Which, as I mentioned, I'll be recapping in previous episodes. This will be the last Abbott Elementary recap for a while, because as of time of recording, in the UK, I've only got access to the first 8 episodes of the season, and for me to want to do the full season, I didn't want to split it, so I'll wait until I have access to them, then I'll watch them, and then I'll recap them like I've done with this. So, yeah, because I don't think the entire season's released in the US yet, so normally Disney Plus wait until it's released entirely in the US before releasing it in the UK, which is strange because, like, Scrubs, the season 1 of the reboot, which I'll be talking about in a couple of episodes' time, was released weekly, and Only Murders in the Building, they're released weekly. So it just is, it seems to be a bit of potluck about which shows are released weekly and which they wait for the entire seasons for. But here we go. Anyway, recapping Abbott Elementary season 4, and this season we return to the 22 episode season that we got in season 1 after the short season due to the actors and writers strikes. But we start off with season 4 episode 1, Back to School, where we turn out that Gregory and Janine have decided to date each other properly this time. And then we saw the clip, or heard, depending upon which form you enjoy the podcast in, is that HR have arrived, and Janine and Janine especially is worried about telling everyone, and she explains why, and Gregory kind of reassures Janine, and they turn out to tell HR, and it's all fine because they're both teachers. There's no kind of power imbalance or anything. And then we have season 4 episode 2 titled Ringworm, which is, I believe, I don't know if it's a real thing. It might not be. I've never heard of it. It could just be made for the show, but kind of an illness that sweeps through the school, and Janine and Ava actually for once agree on how to deal with this, and Melissa with them as well, kind of knowing that ringworm is kind of very contagious, and it starts off when one of Jacob's kids in his class gets it, and then passes it to his brother, and then passes it to everyone, and then they decide, or Jacob suggests actually, that they put all of the children who may or may not, who may have probably have ringworm, into the same place, and Jacob offers to be that person and ends up getting ringworm continuously. Then we have season 4 episode 3, Class Pet, which obviously introduces class pets. We've got the introduction of Sweet Cheeks, who becomes Melissa's pet, kind of, even though it's for the class. To the point where Melissa pretends that Sweet Cheeks has died just so she can have them all the time. And then we also meet O'Shan, who becomes more important later on in the season as the IT rep. And then we have season 4, episode 4, titled Costume Contest, which is kind of the second Halloween special of Abbott Elementary, with kind of Janine and Gregory wearing a couple's costume, Ava being Blade, for example. Who else? I can't remember what some of the costumes are. Melissa dresses up at Sweet Cheeks. And then we have season 4, episode 5, titled Dad Fight, when one of the dads of the children in his class threatens to fight him, and kind of that nearly happens until Gregory's able to de-escalate the situation. Then we have season 4, episode 6, titled The Deli, which involves Barbara and Melissa finding out that their deli where they go for lunch is no longer open, or will be closed due to the construction of the golf course. Then we have season 4, episode 7, titled Winter Show, which starts off as a Christmas show, but one of Barbara's children can't take part and is bullied for it, essentially, so Barbara decides to change it from a Christmas show to a winter show. Then we have the first ever Christmas special not at the school during the Christmas holidays, titled Winter Break, where Janine and Gregory are having their first Christmas together as a couple, and Ava kind of is there too. Then season 4, episode 9 is the title Volunteers, actually, is the Abbott Elementary crossover with It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, and yes, it was kind of a two-parter with this episode and the first episode of season 17, I believe, of Abbott Elementary. And kind of in that episode, it was kind of quite weird to hear all the teachers swearing, because obviously in a school they can't. So yeah, it's very interesting. Obviously I know Rob McElhenney for buying for Welcome to Wrexham, so it was interesting to see him and kind of get all of the subplots within that, and it's kind of a two-parter. So I would suggest, if you're going to check out any episodes, check out those two, because they're really enjoyable, especially if you're fans of Abbott Elementary or It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Then we have season 4, episode 10, titled Testing, which is when Janine gets really stressed when her class does bad on a practice test and tends to get it right. And then we have season 4, episode 11, titled Strike, where the kind of, I think this is kind of on the back of season 3 being impacted by the strike, and they didn't want to write the strike into that season, but they did into this one, where kind of the buses or the public transport goes on strike, which if that happened in the UK, I would really struggle, because I rely on public transport because I don't drive. Then season 4, episode 12 is Girard Creek, where Abbott Elementary visits the golf course that have been bribing them and blackmailing them, or that we're getting bribes from. Then season 4, episode 13, titled Science Fair, is when it's a science fair, where all the kids come up with something, and Janine, Ava and Melissa get very competitive. Jacob, Morton and Barbara end up judging it, and it turns out that the kids kind of just wanted to have fun. Then season 4, episode 14 is a district budget meeting, where we kind of get an insight into how schools get different amounts of money. And then season 4, episode 15, titled 100th Day of School, which I've never heard of. Maybe it's just a US thing, but kind of the celebration of 100 days of school, and you pretend to be 100th of the day, which then causes Barbara to have a crisis of sorts, because she finds out she's a grandmother, or going to be a grandmother in this episode, and someone dresses up as one of her kids dresses up as her, believing she's 100. And then we have season 4, episode 16, Books, where kind of a book is taken out of the library by Ava, because she believes that because one of the parents has complained, which then becomes like a PTA civil war, so they decide to sort it out. And then season 4, episode 17 is a another episode outside of the school with karaoke, which is one of my favourite episodes, not only of season 4 of Elementary of the season, because we get the return of Simon as well, from season 3, from the district, who's dating Erica on and off again, as it turns out throughout the episode, and everyone plays karaoke. Gregory's now gotten a second job because he's not earning as much money as his son, which is just silly, because he's a teacher, he should be paid well. Now I know the US works a little bit differently, but that should still be the case. And then season 4 episode 18 is Audit, where kind of someone has let the district know that Abbott could be accepting bribes, and they Abbott learned of this, and they tried to hide everything until the Miles Nathaniel, who kind of is the head of the golf course, is giving something to the school, and then they find out, the district find out, and kind of Ava takes full responsibility for that, as she is fired, as it turns out that teachers would have to be suspended, they can't be fired, but principals can, which then leads on into season 4 episode 19 titled Music Class, where Barbara is leading the music class with some help from Jacob, and how she delivers it isn't exactly what the pupils were looking for. And then season 4 episode 20 titled Avafest Tokyo Drift, which is kind of the third Avafest, where Ava's tried to find a way to what's the word I'm looking for, to to fundraise, but it doesn't go well, and then Ava kind of gives some advice which works a little bit better. And at the end of that episode we find out, and Barbara actually ends up saving with someone that she goes to church with, that Barbara tells Janine, no, Ava tells Janine at the end of this episode that she wants a job back, which then leads into season 4 episode 21, the penultimate episode, Rally, where everyone goes to the district apart from Gregory, who is now interim principal, which is kind of, he always wants to be principal even in season 1, and in that season we find out why that isn't the case, but it's only interim, and he kind of but everybody else goes and helps try to get Ava a job back, which eventually works. But before that, the district decide to suspend everyone, and then Gregory kind of rings Tariq and Crystal to try and step in if they can. And then we finish off with season 4 episode 22, the Police Touch Museum, which is the field trip for the season, and we figure out and we see more of Gregory's relationship with his dad and how he perceived him, and kind of Janine trying to impress Gregory's dad by being someone that she's not, and all of that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's just very nice to have that. But yeah, that's kind of it. But yeah, I've mentioned why. I will be recapping Elementary season 5 at some point when I'm able to watch all the episodes. But that's it for this episode. So let me know what you thought of Abbott Elementary season 4 if you watched it. My recap if you didn't. And without further ado, I will see you in a future episode of the podcast. See you then. Goodbye.